Hold back, John. Tell us how you really feel about our voting process.
Wokeism is getting on my nerves.
Wokeism is?
Yeah.
All right. Because of the way things go with this show, now we're live.
Oh, now
you
we are.
mother
live.
freak.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Bill Squire Show. I'm your host, Bill Squire. I'm here with AJ DeCosimo.
I voted today.
Tommy LC.
I voted today.
And John Armstrong.
I did not vote today.
But tell him the truth.
I voted Saturday because you have to be a responsible voter.
Yeah.
And I don't trust anything.
Right.
So
So you're
got
going to
it
mail it in.
You got it done.
Yeah, it's in my pocket.
That's right.
There you go. That's one way.
Mailbox is right across the street. So I figured we'll do this. I'll drop it off, you know.
I voted via smoke signal.
Oh, yeah. People are requesting some hello loves.
Hello,
Hold
love.
on, let me get the camera on you now.
Hello, love.
Tommy.
Hello, love.
I don't do it. That's it.
Isn't it?
You want to do one?
I can't do it.
Isn't it? Come on, just give me. Isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's all right.
Hello,
That's all
love.
right.
Hello, love. Hello, love.
So we are here with John Armstrong. He is a Cleveland comedian that is headlining Hilarities in a couple days here. You're going to be there November 11th, the Friday late show only, right?
9:30.
9:30 on Friday, and John is fucking hilarious. So go to hilarities.com right now and get tickets. A friend of mine sent me a screenshot of him buying tickets earlier.
Nice.
So you're moving some.
Let's do it.
You got some going.
He'll be sitting next to my mom, and then 400 empty seats. No.
Nah, man,
Your mom's a
we're
lovely
doing-
lady.
Yeah.
I think we're
heard
doing
I went
pretty
out a
good.
couple times.
What's
Your
that?
mom and I. Your mom's a lovely lady.
My mother doesn't go out. All right. If
That's
you
not
met
true.
My mother,
You're right. She
you
stays
came,
in.
You,
know
you
what I mean?
came to the house, you did your shit, and you left. My mother doesn't
That's true.
do that.
That's true.
Red Lobster
Just some
shit.
over the pants and mouth stuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not
For-
since
for
'83. Yeah.
For me and Mrs. John Armstrong.
No, my mom likes to keep it in the house, and then that way
And her butt.
it's classy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't get all weird and shit.
That's
Oh,
true.
Well, that's exciting. I'm glad that. I mean, I didn't know. I knew you guys knew each other. I didn't know you guys knew each other like that.
Intimately.
Yeah, yeah,
Intimately. I let him
Yeah.
take the car out.
yeah. He's not circumcised.
That's true. It doesn't taste any different.
I
Yeah, well, you're not sucking your dick.
That's what your mom said. Right? Everybody.
I don't know,
Right?
it's got to have a little bit more of a twinge.
It's a little
A
tangier.
little tangier, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's probably more of a consistency thing than a flavor thing.
Is it like a labia fold that gets like the cheese in it? Does it taste the same as that?
Tommy, I think you take
You
this
know
away.
when you got like a good roast beef going and then it starts to cream cheese on the side?
Little
Cream cheese on the side? No.
A little horsey sauce.
What?
Come on.
Bill, do you know what he's talking
Oh
about?
yeah, I know exactly what he's talking
Thank
about. I'm
you.
waiting for Tommy to answer.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not how your pussy works, but
Yeah, but wait. What?
Well, if you do it
I don't know
vigorously,
about
you can whip up a
uncircumcised
lather.
dicks.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know shit about uncircumcised dicks.
okay. You never been with an uncircumcised?
No.
You never
Wow.
had the old snuffle.
Are you circumcised, John?
oh yeah, hell
Oh,
yeah.
yeah? Oh, yeah, you are.
We
Yeah, he
circumcise
is.
women in my culture. Hell yeah,
I've
I'm
only
circumcised.
I've only touched it in the dark, so I have never seen it.
I've got quite a Darth Vader helmet. It's pretty prominent. So, yeah.
All
It's like the
right.
Rick Moranis one. It's like oversized.
So, John, you have been. How long have you been doing stand up now? 10 years?
I wish, dude. 6.5.
6.5. Well,
Yeah, dude.
you seem like someone that's been doing it longer because you're very good at it. You've always been natural. From
thank
like
you.
the first time I saw you on stage, you were very comfortable right off the bat. But you were someone that came late to the stand up
did.
world because
I did.
let's play. How old do you think John is? With
Oh, this
Tommy?
is a bad day because the gray and then like in the.
Tommy, how old do you think John is?
Oh,
You
I am
can't
so bad at
don't
that.
do that to a black person. And she's go
This is
overdo
my
it.
show. I'm doing it.
What? Wait, hold on. How long have you been doing?
6.5 years.
6.5 years.
John looks very comfortable with this game.
I don't know. I'm so bad at this. How old am I?
That's-
You look my age, 32.
Okay, I'll do that.
I know he's not 32.
Yeah.
I
No?
think I
Switch the numbers around.
at one point I did. Yeah.
23?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I didn't get to play the game. I knew you were in your 40s.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew your exact age at one point, but the years went by and
I'm
you got
a
older.
Gen Xer.
Yeah. Are you 42 or 43?
43.
43.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I found out how old you were, I was like, oh, damn.
Well, okay, so that's the thing. I always tell people part of my, I guess, cheat code for comedy is I started late, and I always wanted to do it. I was just kind of nervous to do it. Like I always tell. It's like telling your parents you want to be an astronaut. It's like they give you a little pat.
Yeah, okay.
That's nice. Now go get a fucking job.
With me, it was like telling my parents I wanted to be a ventriloquist. They were just like, that's not a real thing.
You just want to fist people.
Right? I just want to shove it up there. Right, but
Fist people and talk through your teeth.
Right, but I get my fisting fix when I go visit your mom.
My mother doesn't get fisted, all right?
Well, that's not true.
She likes a nice triangle. You know what I mean? Like, this is just
But that's really what it is.
I was going to say, I think that's
some
fisting.
people,
I mean,
the
some people
forearms
do.
doing
I don't get it.
all the work, really.
So it's like,
Should just be like
it's
a
like an
beat, a
Italian
peck.
guy just
Yeah.
trying to articulate his point.
That is a more like I'm so desensitized to a middle finger, but like if you see someone doing that, like they're fucking furious at you, and they're probably not originally from here, so like they've probably done things to get where they're at.
Yeah,
so, like they mean it in a way.
It's one thing to get kicked in the face with a pair of Jordans. It's another to get kicked with some fucking Stacey Adams or some church shoes or some mafia dude with some hard ass bottoms. That stomp that De Niro does in Goodfellas when he's coming down with the heel.
You're just stomping on him.
Oh, dude, I'll take
I
that.
actually like to think of the stomp from The Irishman where he's so old and he's trying to stomp on the guy, and it's just it completely ruins all the rest of his stomping on film. Because you're like, why couldn't they just put his... First of all, just get a young actor to play that role. But even if you're going to use De Niro, have a body double do that stomping, because it is the worst part of any movie. It's so bad. It's so cringy.
That is one that was on my early pandemic watch list that I have not watched yet.
Irishman?
Yeah.
I had to turn off the CGI, the whole thing. Like, it's supposed to be a very good movie, but I couldn't get past...
Is it Uncanny Valley shit?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, it's like trying to watch a gangster version of the Polar Express. That is the creepiest fucking movie of all time.
The Polar Express?
Yeah.
Really? The one with Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Why is that so creepy?
Because the way the animation is.
I think it's
the
sweet.
animation is creepy.
I hate it.
I think that's when a lot of that Uncanny Valley shit started. A lot of the references go back to that. They said in the his newest one, Pinocchio, they said that one's fucked up too. It's got a very like
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait,
he is
Scorsese
already
did
creepy.
Pinocchio?
No, it's Tom Hanks plays Geppetto in a new Pinocchio movie.
Oh, when did that come out? Hold on. Let me pause for a second. I want to see
imagine
Scorsese do Pinocchio.
Damn, that would be
Pinocchio
sick.
dropping N-bombs
That
while
would
they
be
play
sick.
like Rolling Stones in the background. Like, it was fucking funny.
That is genius,
As
actually.
long as I can remember, I wanted to be a real boy.
Oh, man.
Pinocchio just chest is tattooed. He'd be like, "Who's a real boy now? Are you a real boy?"
It does get dark with the the donkeys or whatever when the kids turn into that shit.
Do
gets
I have
dark.
strings?
Whale?
Do I have strings that hold me down?
He's like, "You tell me where you see these strings."
Oh shit! I almost had him. You might vote under questioning, and he did.
I wish I remember more about Pinocchio. To do more lines.
I think you nailed it. That's about all that you need.
Yeah, we could really go line for line with Pinocchio right now.
Right.
That's when we know our two listeners are just like, "Mom, leave me alone.
We're
I'm
up to
listening to
12
the
right
best."
now, all right? And Robert said the Chippendale movie on Disney Plus. They make fun of that animation style, which is good because that's my favorite. My daughter, Polar Express is my daughter's favorite movie, and
Really?
It's the kids that are creepy.
Yeah.
It's the kids that are like there's one kid in particular, and he's got this weird. I don't know. I hate him.
Tommy, do you know exactly what he's talking about? Because
Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about.
So
I've never seen this movie either.
I think they're so fucking gross. Because the whole time you're just like looking at the kid, like.
And your daughter likes it though,
She loves it because
and she doesn't get that like these are
'Cause she's
demon
watching her
CGI.
life, like since she was a
Okay.
little kid. So it's really.
Yeah, we know like from
Excited for-
practical
yeah,
effects
yeah.
to this, all she knows is this
Right,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
just. Well, and
Yeah, we
listen,
watched The
she-
Dark Crystal and shit
she-
like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
She, like I
That's
showed a
movie
lot
too.
of those movies to my kids, and they really love like Labyrinth, and they love those old movies with practical effects.
Yeah.
But that one she's the only one that likes it. So like every Christmas she'll want to watch it, and she'll be like, "Can we watch this?" And I'm like, "We'll watch that last when everybody's gonna fall asleep."
Oh God,
Nobody else wants to watch that movie because it's so fucking gross.
Yeah.
Is it that bad?
It's so gross.
I've never
to
seen
me.
Tommy laugh harder.
First,
Will you
we'll
look at
watch
her?
the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then we'll watch that fucking Polar Express.
I
shit.
find the Polar Express to be delightful. I'll watch it.
Have you
I'll
seen
watch it with you. Yes, I've seen it. I think it's delightful.
It's too creepy.
I don't think it's creepy.
That's it. Because Zemeckis got really into that style. Because he also did. What was the one he did with? He did Beowulf. And Beowulf's that same style.
Wasn't that the first CGI that they did kind of over people with the?
Well, no, I think that was the second, or I think it was.
That was
Because
one
they
of
came
them.
out around the same time.
Okay, yeah.
But I think they had even more technology for Beowulf. But it's the same style, and it's like motion capture,
Yeah, yeah.
and but the
You said you don't
CGI
like
was
horror
gross.
either, so
I don't.
this
really
kind of
like
makes
horror,
sense.
yeah.
that you-
I
Wait,
remember
hold on.
watching Beowulf and waiting
a
for it to
creepy
change
vibe.
into regular. I'm
Like-
like, when does it go fade into the real thing? And I'm like,
It never
oh, this,
did. Yeah.
like, this is a fucking
Do you
cartoon.
do you like Nightmare Before Christmas?
I love Nightmare Before Christmas.
I've never
That
seen
one's kind of
either.
weird too. What? Okay.
You've ever seen that?
I'm 43 people. That shit
Right,
came out
he's
when I was
seen it.
39.
I'm 40, but Nightmare Before Christmas came out when I was 10 or 11, and I was also raised Mormon, so like we were going to Disney movies until I was like 20.
Yeah, wasn't that way too like secular and shit?
Yeah, like no, that one was all right. Like I've always liked that movie.
Do Mormons have Santa Claus?
Yeah,
Do they like Santa Claus?
I mean they get along with them.
Do they think Santa Claus is Mormon? Because I mean, he's Satan. Do Mormons have saints?
No, they don't have saints, but like
You all have never had this conversation yet. We're just crossing this bridge.
Yeah,
of
I just-
Mormonism.
Well, no,
well,
we did
it's been
last
a few
week.
bridges and skips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a
Questions
lot.
as they come out, yeah.
Because every time we get into Mormon stuff, it goes down such a deep hole that you don't even think to ask, do Mormons have Santa Claus? But yeah, they do Santa Claus.
Mm.
And it's just kind of like, it's no big deal.
Mm.
But they don't really get into the lore of Santa Claus. They just go, hey, Santa Claus was a good guy, and he's based on this. And now he's here to bring you presents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we had pretty normal
They don't get
Christmases.
lost in the weeds because that'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, right, exactly.
I'll tell these bitches to put you to sleep. Tell your moms to put you to sleep.
I'm actually upset about a thing that's happening with Santa Claus right now.
What's that?
There is a new commercial where Santa Claus is played by John Hamm. And then there's the movie.
The Madman dude?
Yeah. He's playing Santa Claus.
Does he have a
Is
bulge?
he like white shit?
Yeah,
or
like
is it?
but he's still hot. He's still like great.
Yeah,
And
Santa's
then they
not
did-
supposed to be hot.
And that's the thing. Santa Claus, they did the Christmas Chronicles movies with Kurt Russell where he plays Santa Claus. And he's older, but he's still like a good looking guy. He's Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
And I don't like them doing that to Santa Claus. Santa Claus was like the one guy I had where I'm like, I can always be Santa Claus.
I was waiting for you to go to Tim Allen too. Tim Allen's
Tim
way
Allen-
too good looking.
Tim Allen, they at least fat suited him up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when he
yeah,
was Santa Claus, they put him in the fat suit and everything like that.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that with John Hamm. John Hamm is just like the zaddy
Just the
Santa Claus.
just the sexiest Santa.
Yeah, he's just a sexy.
If
fucking
Santa looked
Claus.
that good, he'd make it to like maybe 3 houses after getting blown so much. He'd be sleeping in a crib.
He's staying
just
at
like,
he's staying at John's mom's house.
ladies, I'm still in North America. Like these kids need to.
Joe Brick says to stop shaming Santa. Dave Morales says Jingle All the Way is a classic. Jingle All the Way is a classic. I actually really love that movie.
God, I feel so bad. I'm a movie person. All these
You know
movies
what?
I haven't seen.
See, Christmas movies are the fucking shit.
I think you
love-
could skip Jingle All the Way.
Oh, I love it.
Cause that's
think you could skip
Sinbad and
that.
Arnold, right?
Yeah, you could skip
Yeah.
that one.
Dude, Elf, come on now. That
yeah.
of course, Cleveland
Well, all
Christmas
right.
Story.
But what is your go-to Christmas movie?
I guess those two. Yeah.
Elf.
I used to love Rudolph. I tried to get my kids to watch it in stop motion.
I
If
love
it's not CGI, they are not
They're
impressed.
not
dude.
impressed.
Yeah.
They don't
Well,
like
it's
that
one of
shit.
those
Yeah.
things. I see. That's where I was lucky because my kids, because they like horror and creepy things,
Oh.
they're like, oh, we'll watch this because it is unsettling.
Yes.
Like they enjoy the unsettling animation of those
Oh
Rankin
God!
Bass.
Well, they
Christmas
love
specials.
Gumby because that shit was creepy.
This year, I want to move past. I'm past. I want to get past the is Die Hard a Christmas movie discourse.
Yeah, I think
I'm
I'm
skipping
past
it.
Yeah.
I want to move on to is A Clockwork Orange a Christmas movie discourse?
I've never actually seen that.
Oh,
What?
yeah, it's a Christmas movie.
Okay.
It is,
Yeah,
but it
for
goes
sure.
through like more
sure.
time. I've only seen it like chopped up. Like
yeah,
pieces
no,
here and
it's
there.
definitely a Christmas movie.
Now Vince is telling me on the chat that the John Hamm Santa commercials for the World Cup and nobody is fat in soccer. But he's not playing soccer. He's just telling us about soccer. They should have got someone fat. I just think it's better to
You know who
have
I
a
think they
fat
should have got? They
Santa.
should have got that fella to play Santa that played on The Sopranos guy.
He's dead.
Who, James
James
Gandolfini?
Gandolfini's dead.
Are you know,
When did he
he
die?
died like 9 years ago.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been dead for a
Well,
while.
I've seen him.
in your
what?
dreams.
Oh my God,
in
he's
old
been dead
episodes
for
of The
9
Sopranos,
years.
Dead for 9
or
years.
longer than that.
Oh
right?
my
Yeah.
goodness!
Yeah.
Well,
I haven't. You're right. I
he died
haven't
in
seen him in a lot of things
2013, I
lately.
believe.
Because a
Nothing
lot of them
lately.
now, like Paulie Walnuts just died.
Yep.
And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I knew Paulie Walnuts died,
Yeah, yeah.
but I didn't know
We lost
Tony
some-
Soprano
Somebody
died.
else from there passed too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Junior just died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
He was so cute.
Junior was great. Junior always had some.
You know who?
Ah, yes,
Fine.
this cunt.
This cunt. Every time he would fall. Did you watch the prequel, the All Saints of Newark or
I
whatever?
haven't watched that yet.
That I just saw and
What'd you think?
it was okay, but I mean to be a gangster movie, I get when people are like, "No, man, we're gonna dig between the cracks," but it's like, dude, shoot people and be an asshole. Like this
Right,
is why
that's
we
what-
watching
that's
gangster
why we want the
movies. Yeah,
gangster stuff.
yeah. Don't get
Like
all.
you have time to do that on a series like The Sopranos. Like you can build stuff up.
Yeah,
for
something
it.
that's
But if it's-
episodic. Yeah.
If it's a film, you gotta get to the good stuff.
And it's not even a long one. I think it's barely over 90 minutes, so you don't even get that like you said, Scorsese type like build. They just get in it and they're like, and then it was and then Chris Montesanti and
There it is.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it just because I only recently watched The Sopranos. I watched it during the pandemic.
Really?
And I loved it. And like I tried starting it a few times and just never got into it. And then, during the pandemic, had nothing but time.
The late
through it.
90s, early 2000s HBO, I was on it, man.
You
Chris
were
Rock
by
show,
yourself, yeah.
fucking Sopranos, The Wire.
When I was very
That was
little, I
some good
watched
writing.
Oz.
Oh,
When I
the
was
first
very
two
little.
episodes of that I thought was a fucking documentary because there was so many dicks.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like, this can't be acting.
yeah. I learned a lot from that show.
Like,
It's a manual to survive prison.
Or to not survive. Fucking Beecher getting
Well,
branded.
no, right, but I know what not to do if I go to prison.
Dude, his character arc.
James
he went-
Gandolfini's died.
A long
Wow.
time ago. When was it?
Well, it's new for me, Tommy.
Joe Briggs says, in my religion, Santa is hot and has a dripping hog. So
Oh.
Well, I was about to say when you said John Hamm should be fat, that's the part where he like
No,
he
Santa,
like pulls
Santa
it
should
out.
be fat. Not, John
2013.
Hamm should be hot.
James Gandolfini's been dead for 9 years.
Yeah, 2013.
How'd that one get past me?
I am far away. I should probably put my mic a little bit closer.
Man, he had a heart attack.
There we go.
He had a heart attack.
Yeah. Well,
Poor
Big
fella.
guy.
Yeah, he was a big guy, but he would have been a great Santa.
Yeah.
I think
He
would.
would, yeah.
You know
he
what?
might have played Santa in a
You know
movie.
what? But I feel like James Gandolfini lives on in the spirit of Christmas,
does he though?
right, guys?
Yeah, okay.
I thought he was more of a Kwanzaa
He is
guy.
Santa.
He knew he was dead. He knew
Yeah.
he was dead. He knew he was dead. All right, so just to remind, if anybody's watching this and they want to share this, that'd be great. We're trying to get more people to watch live. But let's get back to John talking about your comedy career. You started about 6.5 years ago. What was like the first thing where you're like, okay, I can do this. Like I'm good. Like you felt like you were on the right path.
Well, partly what happened is like I had this little midlife crisis. I'm in my 30s and I'm just like working shitty jobs and I'm like, well, time goes by quick. So I started having this, I would rather do something and fail at it than just be wondering what happened. But the other thing that happened is kind of what got me finally getting pussy when I was younger was, you see other people doing it and somewhat succeeding, and you're like, well, I can at least do that.
Yeah.
And I saw, and like all these jobs I would have, I would just be like the funny person, and then I would just say shit, and people like, where'd you hear that? And I'm like, I just thought of it. So after a while, I was just like, well, I should try it. But yeah, just watching.
If I'm the one thinking of this stuff, like I'm
Right.
already on the right path because.
Or you ever have something happen, like you'll have a thought, you too, because you write, like you'll have a thought and you'll be like, oh shit, this is like funny. And then you'll hear a comedian say it just because it's parallel thinking.
Yeah.
And then you start being like, okay, well, I guess my mind goes there. So let's fucking see what happens.
All the time. It's the worst.
Well, and something that happens to me a lot is where you'll have those parallel thoughts, and you're like working on it, and then you'll see like Jim Jeffries do it in a special.
Yeah.
And like you're working on it for 2 weeks. You're like, well, I'm glad I was only working on this for 2 weeks because he just did like a masterful version.
Yeah.
Because my version wasn't going anywhere. Like it was the same idea, but he did it in a much better way.
Yeah, and starts like extrapolating shit you didn't even like think
Yeah.
about. And you're like, okay, I'll just take my ball and go back home.
Well, that's one of the things that I like about your comedy is you do go in a very, you go in some cool directions, and you have a very unique voice when you're talking about, especially the personal things when you talk about your son and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Of course, that's a very personal topic for you, but even just talking about like day-to-day stuff, or just you have a great point of view, and you are that one that's stepping over the line and then looking back.
Yeah,
And then you're able
yeah.
to talk about things that should be offensive or whatever, but
Yeah.
you do it with that grace to make it palatable and funny.
That's that comic defense mechanism shit. That whatever fucked us all up when we were younger and
Mhm.
got us funny. That's
Yeah.
that's that. Just that quick, like, don't hit me.
Yeah, just-
That's what a lot of that shit is. man.
What? So what fucked you up? What got you there?
Well, he's not in jail yet, so I can't give details. but-
Okay.
no. I don't know. Like just youngest, only boy. Parents were divorced. Growing up in shitty part of Cleveland, being bullied, just all that good shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Some of it is, and then, how like you don't realize how unique certain shit is until you contrast it with other people and you talk to other people.
Absolutely.
When we finally moved out of the hood and I got around like suburban people and shit and just seeing how different people lived, it was just like my household was nice. It wasn't bad, but still just being used to
But circumstances were still
being used to
very
once a year
different.
somebody in your neighborhood getting their head blown off or shit like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just being common,
Mhm.
Guess who in jail? Guess who just died? Just you know what I mean?
Right.
And just internalizing that as that's just what my life is, you know what I mean? So on all that kind of just
How-
shapes your worldview. And
How old were you when you moved from to the suburbs?
like 14, 15.
Okay, so yeah, you were pretty set in your ways at that point.
Yeah, and it was a split too, because it came at a time where I was like getting in a lot of trouble and shit. So it saved my life in hindsight. But it was one of the things I noticed. I always say this to comics, like you could always tell like a comic, or at least a decent comic, by like it's that switch that happened when you were younger. Either people who moved around a lot, or a divorce, but something that just flipped your world into a 180.
Yeah.
And that 180 was like because that was the other thing. Once you go from being around like hood people and city people and like your own people, black people, and then get to being around like white people, after a while you realize it's about 15, maybe 20, that's being generous, personalities of anybody out there.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that helps with comedy. After a while, like you get in a room with somebody and you're like, oh, you're the jock, you're the introvert, you're the extrovert, you're the this.
Well, you know how to read people.
Yeah.
And that's a important thing. And my thing was being in this religious world and then being in a secular world.
Yeah,
And kind of
exactly.
walking
That
between
180.
those two worlds, and try basically living separate lives. Like I was never like a bad kid, but like I had interests that weren't Jesus and church and stuff like that, and those made me way happier than the Jesus stuff. So that conflict made me go, okay, well, how can I do this and still feel like I'm kind of doing what I'm supposed to do for church, and like so like making people laugh was the thing, and also being like smaller, getting bullied a lot. Like the best defense was just to make them laugh, and so that's
diffusing fights and shit.
Yep.
People used to get in fight. My friend who I came in here with, Sean, he's getting so many fights over like the dumbest shit just because we would just be walking, and this is literally that. What are you looking at? Shit, you know what I mean? Just because he has it's more of a meaner demeanor.
Yeah.
But on the opposite, I would get the shit because it's like, who the fuck is... I've always had this. Like, even when I was growing up in Cleveland, I've always been like, you obviously don't have brothers. Like, I've always had that vibe. like we should test him. Yeah. So we were polar opposites in that way, but it both brought that energy to us. Like, who the fuck is that? Like,
LJ Payne on the chat says... he is proud of you.
Aw, I love him, man.
LJ's good.
I'm proud of you, John.
Do you, though?
I'm proud of you, too.
What, for leaving when you come over the house and try to impregnate my mother?
I'm proud of you, John.
She's been through menopause, you sick fuck. You can pull out, all right?
Well, that's why never mind. I digress.
Check your mailbox.
Also, if you're watching on the live stream, throw us likes and again share. We got 16 viewers. We're fucking killing it now.
Yes.
We get views after it publishes, but it's just I'm trying to get people to watch while it's live. Like, I think
cool. If you build it, they'll come.
Mm-hmm. Just like
That's
AJ
true.
makes your mom come.
No, slow down. There's only one person coming in that room.
This is what your mom's vagina says.
Oh no, all our viewers are gone. So you're headlining for the first time. You've headlined other shit before.
Yeah, like independent stuff.
Explain to people why this is such a big deal to headline Hilarities, because it is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal because for one I always say improv Hilarities are like Coke and Pepsi for Cleveland.
Yeah,
improv is like the Black Club. Hilarities, I'd say more mainstream because they do have more black acts that come through, but by default, like the white club. But it's like, it's one of the best clubs in the country. And you know how like Cleveland, we blow ourselves on we're the best this or that. But when people, you can tell just when people come from out of town and everybody's like, wow, I really like this club. And
I love when someone comes to town for the first time and they don't know what to expect getting into Hilarities. And then they have that first moment where they can talk to you and they go, what the fuck is this? I was not expecting this. I had that with Craig Robinson. It was It was right before he filmed Pineapple Express, and he was here headlining a weekend. And I was working with him, and we're sitting and talking. He's like, "Man, I got booked here kind of last minute," and I'm like, "Cleveland, this is gonna be." Shitty. He's like, I thought this was gonna be like a strip mall club and stuff like that. And he's like, I got here and I went shopping right away because he's like, the clothes I had, I'm like, I don't feel right being in this building with what I was gonna. He's like, I was gonna wear like tennis shoes and sweatpants on stage, and I was like,
I got the keyboard.
It's like there's no stores around here, so I had to go to Payless. Yeah. But he still like at least
cleaned it up
a little bit, and he was very impressed with it. And that was
Cleveland surprises people like that. Just because I guess either like even bartending downtown, I bartend where it's a lot of like out of town people come.
Yeah.
And it's either the river is still on fire or like they equate us with Ohio. So especially like East Coast, West Coast people come in. It's like they think we're chewing on corn or some shit. Like and Cleveland people, we're so. I had a lady come in and she was talking about Amish people. Like, is it weird about? I'm like, honestly, we don't even think about that. Like, there's so many people in Cleveland
think about
who's never
Amish
even
people
seen
the
an
same
Amish
way
person.
Like
exactly.
I mean, I'll see Amish people when I'm driving south, but like even then, I have to almost go out of my way to see them.
It's like as much as people in fucking Brooklyn, New York think about fucking Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Like they don't. It's the same state, but they're not even thinking about this shit.
Right.
But no, the Hilarities thing is a super big deal too, because like speaking of time, like 6.5 years is fairly quick to be able to do a club like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I don't know. I turn over a lot of material. I've been like in Sam's ear the guy at Hilarities who books it, I've been just telling him, I'm like, look, just give me. And on top of that too, I've been lucky. Like when you, as comics, when we get to do like MC spots, like you're lucky to do that. But sometimes you can only go up every now and then.
Yeah.
But I had a few good sets in my pocket that I would do good to the point to where I'm like, Sam, could be up, either bump me up or do something, because
you're making it hard on the.
You're making
else,
me, and trust me, these aren't very cerebral jokes. I'm just saying, dick suck, white, black, but it works. And I was
There's the name of your album.
don't give it away. But yeah, so that made it a big deal too, just in the amount of time. Now I don't know what'll come of this. I understand, Ed McMahon is outside the door with like a huge check.
But it's just a cool accomplishment, and it feels, it's a big deal, and we're, and I like seeing all the comics in Cleveland rallying behind you and being so proud. That's a cool
that's
thing.
been fun.
Yeah,
and it's hard to respond to that energy.
It is
because you want it, but I don't know how to live in that. So
right,
like,
I'm proud of you, John.
Fuck you. Go back to the fucking my mama jokes.
I'm like so proud of you, John. I'm like unbelievably proud.
This
gross.
version of I'm proud of you makes me feel like I'm watching the Polar Express.
Yeah, oh God!
No, but like John, like
Turn it
I'm
off!
super duper proud of you. Like it's insane how proud of you I am, really, for true.
Yeah. I hope I run into you on the way to the refrigerator. Oh, Fight Club style with the fucking with the yellow dish gloves on. I'm gonna finish her off.
Now you got kids too. You mentioned that.
Yeah, 2 girls and my son.
Your son is autistic.
Yeah.
You talk about that in your act a little bit, but those are jokes. Like that's kind of one of the things that we bond over. And it's not that I'm comparing autistic people to trans, but it's just
it's
like understanding
selective people who know this life.
Yeah.
That on the surface to other people is just like anything else, because everybody's going through something. But when you're in it, it's like, dude, this is a world, man.
Yeah.
And the amount of just
misinformation,
anxiety, mental stress, the amount of just concern you have for this individual, trying to modulate all these thoughts while loving this person and while them being a human and being an asshole every now and then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
it makes it
so
very tough.
it's a whole thing, man. It's a whole. I used to didn't talk about it at all just because I didn't know how.
It takes a while to get to that level where you can talk about those deeper things, and that's when I first started, everything was like fat jokes and I can't get girls. Like those were all my jokes, and then as I got better, I was able to delve into my experience with religion, and I was able to talk about raising my stepkids and then get even deeper with that.
Yeah.
And that's when people don't always think of, when it comes to comedy, you're not always proudest of your funniest joke, the joke that gets the biggest laugh.
Oh yeah. It's
but you're proudest of the one that like,
you veer off course and you start going in the corners of shit.
I made something that is not palatable and funny and relatable, and that's when I feel like a very good comedian. Yeah. And you do a very good job of that talking about your son.
Now I gotta be funny on Friday. Yeah.
Well, if these 17 people show up, then you'll be just fine.
They'll be 10 minutes in and get to the retard jokes. Oh man, yeah.
How did that go down? Like, because he's in that age because he's what, 20 now, 21.
21. Yeah.
So they were still figuring out how to diagnose.
When he got diagnosed back in what was this? 04, 5.
Yeah.
My extent of it was Rain Man. It was still pretty rare then. You know what I mean? Like, and then it just. It's a mindfuck on so many levels because it's not like cancer or AIDS or something where they do a blood test or something like that. No, he was just about to be 3.
Okay, just about to be 3. Okay.
Just about to be 3. So yeah, 04? Yeah, because he was born in 2001.
Okay, 2001.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was just so weird, and it's just based on behavior. And then also too, I tell this story like when you go to get him tested, and it's just they observe him, and he was like normal and hitting all his milestones, doing shit early. He was walking before he was 1, but he never talked. Which was all right, but because you know how like your mother's
all right, yes.
No, you know how like
Precisely.
you know how people in your family are always like so and so didn't talk till they were blah blah blah.
I didn't say a word till I was 23. I stayed silent that entire time.
And then,
The thoughts that were going on in your brain, just the acid trip that you couldn't put to paper yet.
It was remarkable. I was just, the only thing that I would ever say is I knew from start to finish the entire script of the Polar Express.
Of course you did. Were you like Shia LaBeouf in Transformers 2 where he just like shakes and writes shit on the wall? Writing shapes.
I want to congratulate you on being the first person that's ever used Transformers 2 as a way to
describe
anything.
Anything ever.
Damn wiki.
So
the good ones before Mark Wahlberg fucked it up.
So he's 3 years old and gets diagnosed, and then like, what's that process like of just kind of,
dude? It was
like
learning
how to.
I went through
help
like
him.
some of those years are like a blur now because I didn't realize how like depressed I was, and then just because and that's the other thing, you go through so many thoughts because I didn't want to feel sorry for my son. It's not that you want that, you know what I mean? But there is a sorrow there, and then there's a hope, like maybe something we can do something about it. And then like I was still with his mom at the time, and we had a few philosophical differences of how to approach it, and like and then I went through all this snake oil shit of like, do this and do that, and this will do this. And I wasted so much money on all these little. But I also learned a lot too, because there were some of the kooky things that ended up being true. I was the first person who did a gluten-free diet that I knew, because it's something that they do to this day with people with autism, gluten-free or casein-free diets. Casein's a milk protein. But people who have that for whatever reason, when you regulate their diet like that, cognitively, they get a little better, and just mood and shit like that.
That's really interesting.
So that's when I learned a lot about that. But you get so into pseudoscience shit too that
because
you don't know
you're
what
just
to
looking
believe,
for whatever you can,
right?
To find.
So it took
answers.
me a while to like kind of like, oh, okay, that's bullshit. But then years later, it's like, oh, well, okay, that helps. But so it was just so much of that, me trying to, and then you realizing psychologically that as human beings, when we're not in control, we feel out of control. So we want to, and that really got brought home with the pandemic. When all these people were doing, because I was on that anti-vax shit for a while. Yeah. And even to this day, I don't think vaccines like cause something, but I do think with certain, it's like penicillin. You can't just give penicillin to everybody. I don't think it did.
Substances are going to react with other substances.
Right. I don't, and I've the listeners, I'm not going down a road. All I'm saying was one of the things
is that his kid has autism because of vaccines.
So don't get the COVID. No, I'm vaccinated. I got the COVID vaccine and all that shit. But when that's
you got COVID more than anybody I ever met ever.
Dude, I was a petri dish.
Dude, I got COVID. Every 2 weeks, John's like, I got COVID
just like
again.
3 times. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, but when that happened and the way people were reacting, and I started revisiting those feelings of psychologically when human beings are out of control, you kind of come up with something because your mind needs to feel like it's in control somehow. It needs
to ground somehow.
So you start lining yourself, you start creating these scenarios, and you know what I mean? So it took me a while to reach an equilibrium of, let's do this so this works, let's do this. And on top of that,
that's really an interesting point. I don't want to go past, but it is when you are out of control, and I think everyone in here, for the most part, has had like their manic states where you are.
Well, he idles. AJ just kind of idles.
It's kind of my baseline.
But
he wakes up Ted Bundy.
You're looking for that thing, like you're saying, you're looking for that peace or whatever, and it starts pushing you in various directions, and that's for depression too. It's the same thing, and that's
literally felt like I had something on my chest for like at least 5 years.
Yeah.
You know that feeling like if somebody dies or if you were in a really bad breakup, not to compare autism to that. That's the only thing that's the only thing my brain could compare it to. Just when your physical state on a daily basis is just
off.
It feels like something's on your chest. And it took a long time for me to get to a
and then you go to those dark places and that's, you know, always.
And then the relationship with the mom doesn't work, and then you don't see him even more, and then
Well, it sounds like it's gotten to a healthier place now, and
and then
again, it gives you perspective for comedy because you've been through so much stuff, and it's not just like, oh, I'm the, you know, black, white, dick suck, like your comedy
black,
really
white,
is not that.
White, dick suck, dick suck.
Yeah.
Retard. Give us some other words. What do they call the Jews? I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Delightful.
I find that they're doing a great job.
Like, sure, they run every. I'm just,
okay. That's what I was insinuating, then you take it too far. Like I just said, they're doing a great job.
Get back to the slow black people. Anyway. No, it's so weird too, like the stuff that's natural for him that just every like boy does or man at this point. Yeah. And then the stuff that he gets and the stuff that he doesn't get is, and it's not even that he doesn't get it, but one of the things I tell people is kind of like talking to somebody who had a stroke. Like they're processing it, but it coming back out to you is
it's difficult.
It's gonna be a thing like that. He can read, he can write, you know what I mean? But like,
can you drive?
I don't know. Can he?
I don't know. Have you ever put him behind a wheel?
I never wanted to find out.
I was like super bad. Can I shoot it? I don't know. Can you? Go toss him the keys. Take me home. Honestly, he probably could because he learned how to ride a bike really quick, like quicker than average, as you would say. So all that right brain shit, all the concrete shit, music, you know, anything visual and stuff like that. But the abstract, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That theory of mind shit, you know what I mean? All that, that's where.
More difficult.
Yeah. And even then, like I said, it could be in there, but it's hard to get out because he talks, but he doesn't, it's not like a back and forth like this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes he has a word thing to where we could type stuff out, but we don't consistently use it enough. But I use my phone. So if he's kind of getting manic or something like that, I'll like type something and then he'll type it back. I'm like, cool. Nice. I've been slipping them gummies here and there. Please, Mom, don't be watching this. She's so against weed. She's like, you just want to get him high. I'm like, dude, no, I want his liver to last, like, because he's got to take medication now, and it's just like.
Do you see effects when that happens? Like, does it?
I don't want to say strongly. I mean,
one way or
in his last couple years, he's definitely had some behavioral issues and some manic issues and meltdowns and stuff. But dude, that pandemic, man,
it was tough on everybody. But with that situation, that's got
an individual who needs routine.
Yeah.
Like,
all taken away.
Oh my God! And then other things happened in the background too that just kind of changed his home dynamic a little bit. So I'm sure that wore on him. So that hasn't been good. But we're at the point now to where you can't just take the medicine and then, you know, throw a blunt in his mouth and hope for the best. Like, all right.
It works with me though, so
we're going to Christie's. Try not to freak out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I appreciate you opening up about that because it's not the easiest thing to talk about either because there's it's a lot of mixed emotions.
Yeah.
You know, as much as you are proud and everything, like there's a lot of struggle that goes along with it too.
Yeah. I was just telling somebody, it's literally like taking your heart. Well, this is like having all kids, but it's like taking your heart and like leaving it over on East 4th and then, all right, I'm about to do a show and just nobody touch that vulnerable beating heart that's just sitting there on the table. You know what I mean? I'll be right back. You know what I mean? Just hoping for the best. It's like that. It's really weird.
And then how are the other kids? They're good?
Yeah, the
they're
girls.
A piece of cake compared to him.
Well, my girls are like they're becoming teenagers, 11 and 13 now, and that's a whole like different thing. But I'm lucky because they're still like kids. Like I was.
See, my kids want to.
I was fast when I was that age.
My older daughters. So my oldest daughter, my second, and my middle kid, like they were very close in age. I think they're a year apart in school or 2 years, but they knew everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it was always like them competing with each other, and that made them both grow up way too fast. And you're just like, guys, like just be little kids, and that just was not.
My
So
mom
we had
used-
some tough teenage years with kids.
Well, I'm lucky. They're still like kids. They're still like girly and stuff like that. But I mean, one of the things you learn with your kids, even when they are in that innocence, like they'll do just the littlest thing, and you can realize like they're aware of the world. Like I'll say like certain shit. And I asked her, I was like, do y'all think about school shootings? And she was like, not really. I'm like, don't you see it on TV? Yeah, but
Because what are they supposed to do?
exactly.
You can't.
But then I started thinking back to when I was younger and when I knew, people, I've been shot at, people I've known been killed, and like I didn't think about it. That was one of the things that I didn't think about until I got out of that environment, and then I was like, wow, it's not normal to lose somebody every year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. But they're good. They're good. It's I definitely don't want any more kids. It's like, and no, not in a bad way, but it's
No, there's nothing wrong when you got 3 kids. I
It's-
don't think anyone's gonna be like, this motherfucker, you better have more kids. I mean,
Well, part of it too is like I try to be positive, but the way we were talking about voting, like the way the world is, I legitimately get anxiety about just how the world
existence.
is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really fucks me up, and when people are on, especially that heavy, like that John and Kate, like those people who just like, like why are you?
Yeah, that many kids.
What was the comic? It was some comic who was like, we're a successful species. We don't have to like we cracked
did it.
over 7 billion.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, we just hit 8 billion.
oh fuck. Yeah.
We just hit 8 billion. It is. That's
Well, the good
too
news
many
is
people.
they said we will like stabilize once we get between like 9 and 11 or 9 and 12. But
Yeah,
fortunately,
but that's still a lot. That's too many people.
well, yeah, fortunately the environmental degradations will kill us before that happens. So. Dude, the Mississippi River is drying up. Have you seen that shit?
I was just looking at the lake on Monday, and I've never seen it as low as it is right now.
I was telling somebody that like the way the pier comes out, and
Mhm.
even that one part on the other side, I didn't even know that layer of rocks was there.
Right.
On the other side, yeah.
So yeah, oh well.
So
Chris, I
9:30
see
on
you.
Friday.
It's Friday. The world's ending, but you can laugh your way to the end
Yes.
with John Armstrong at Hilarities this Friday, 9:30. You can get tickets at hilarities.com. What are you on social? Just John Armstrong Comedy?
John Armstrong Comedy on Instagram, John Armstrong on Facebook, and I have a TikTok that I have not started because I haven't put up videos, but that'll be coming soon. And I don't have a Twitter, and I'm glad I don't have a Twitter because how Twitter is doing.
I
now.
tagged a Twitter account. It's your Twitter account. It's just
Really?
the last tweet was from 2017.
Yeah.
So it's been
That was my girlfriend wanted me to sign up, and me being like, yeah, and then something happened, and I threw the phone, and there you go. Some dude has, yeah.
Twitter is a mess right now because Elon Musk just bought it, but
Yeah.
I like Twitter because I like just running out like the little tweets, but then also you get real porn on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's great.
A friend of mine showed me that. Like in my mind, Twitter was because I only see shit on Instagram like
Yeah.
a tweet. So in my mind, Twitter was just a constant scroll of that. And then a friend of mine, had showed me their Twitter, and it was like, I'm like, you can see pussy on Twitter, like.
Oh yeah, you could show your.
You
pussy
can't
on
even
Twitter,
you
too.
can't even
Right?
draw fucking
Sure
titties on Facebook. Like
Yeah, Twitter, you can get away with a lot on Twitter.
yeah, which is I don't need another avenue to watch porn through, dude. Oh god. That's another thing. You think you would jack off less in your 40s. Oh my god, dude. I'm putting up 16-year-old numbers, dude. I'm still late to work
What's your
sometimes because
go-to?
I have to come again.
What's your go-to?
I can't do that.
Okay.
Okay, all right. My go-to is the two type of women I've been fucking, either pogs or like not like hood rap, but kind of like just very sassy big booty black women.
All right.
Get
Here's
the
one.
lashes and the spit.
Let me
Yeah.
know
Oh,
if you're
God,
into this
yeah.
one. a dude sitting in a car in like a public place. These are all set up, but they're made to look. And he'll be like in a car, and it'll just be like jacking his dick, and then like a girl walks by, and she's like, "You're so gross," and he's like, "Am I?" And then she's like, "It's actually pretty big dick." And then she just like starts taking her titties out and sucking his dick.
I gotta go to the bathroom. You know
John
what?
and I have to go to the bathroom.
I don't. I'm actually gonna look that up. So I've been.
It's just so absurd.
I like the ones like when the ones I watch that are close to that, they're already in the car. So like she's giving him a ride somewhere.
Yeah.
And then he just pulls his dick out, and then she's like, "Why would you do that?" And then while driving, she starts giving them the handy, and then they pull over. And yeah. But I love that. Yeah, that's
It's because it's so absurd. But
Yeah.
it's like that's like when guys. Like our version of romance, like girls, you want like flowers and to be taken care of.
You
like,
want it.
We want like our version of romance is just being so enticing to a woman that while she's on her way to work, she's like, "But let me suck your dick real quick." Like that's
Oh God. Oh
like,
God.
I don't know you. But I need
the
that.
spontaneity of it and the fact that it's gross for like everybody but me in my 2003 Toyota Corolla in the Metro Parks at 8:05 in the morning.
My check engine lights on.
It actually is too. Oh shit! Am I that predictable? The board's gonna start lighting up with all the women at Edgewater.
We got a woman weighing in. Samantha says she used to like massage porn, and
a woman who actually likes the massage that leads into sex.
Yeah.
Oh my!
You're one of a kind, Samantha.
Is she getting the massage?
Yeah, we need more information here, Samantha. Is that a woman getting massage and then it turns into sex? Or is the woman giving the massage and it's turning into sex? So let us know, Samantha. We are curious.
Do you like the hey? I just want to give you a background. Yeah,
No,
most
I
women
go
hate
to
that.
like 10 minutes max, no story, just get to it.
You just
That's
want
what I want.
the banging.
Unless it's hentai,
Yeah,
then I want a story.
Just
'cause it's
just
good.
a lady,
Just
a
a
dude
lady.
or two, and a couch. That's all I need. And maybe the Honda, the Toyota Corolla with
Now,
230,000 miles on it.
Tommy likes the woman getting the massage, is what Samantha said.
Oh, okay.
Tommy
Fondling.
likes the hentai stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And what I've
Is that all
dabbled
the
in it.
ropes and shit? Japanese? shit?
No, that's Shibari.
No, anime porn, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you into like the tentacles and stuff,
Yeah.
or is it okay?
Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
walk us through a scene.
Just get to it. It's always a monster. Always a like
So it's a
consensual-
girl?
Yeah.
Falling for a monster?
No.
Okay.
No,
well,
it's
that's what-
usually like
Because every
monster,
hentai, I've never watched the monster hentai. I've like watched more like
story
traditional.
from yeah.
Hold on, explain this though. Wait, a monster?
Mhm.
Like
He comes over with
With
a pizza.
tentacles.
He's like, knock, knock, I got your
knock
sausage
knock, it's
pizza.
just this fucking octopus.
And then you open the pizza box and tentacles in there.
Just wiggle.
Sometimes,
Just
yes.
one.
There's some
while
weird
7 others
shit.
are like
There's
floating
some
around.
there's some
Wow.
weird shit.
Well,
Yeah.
that sounds healthy.
And then
It's not sanitary.
You're right.
that's all right. So, but how does the monster and the woman get together?
It's usually
Against her will.
yes. Yes. Yeah.
So it
That's-
starts a little.
Yeah, for sure. But then it's like
But then she gets into it.
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is
I stopped
my
feeling
thing,
like
yeah.
like weird about porn every time I talk to women. When
You start feeling
No, I
weird?
stopped feeling
Oh.
weird about like my porn consumption when I started talking to women.
Do we watch
and
weirder shit than you?
all
You
the
watch
time?
weirder shit than all of us.
All the time. Not,
You know,
not-
Tommy's like the one to talk. She's just like, yeah, I like a tentacle monster dressed like Hitler.
I
Even-
did not
even-
say anything about Hitler, please.
Even like the
Please.
nicest girls I've known, like gangbang shit,
Yes,
bukkake
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
and
Raunchy and to the point.
and but the thing that's fucked up about us is guys like to the point of like you should be enticed by us like if we, I've had this. If I do something like if you get like too much like cum in her hair or something like, and then she starts freaking out, and then that part of my brain says, "We just watched 100 dudes come on a girl, and I've never seen you get so wet." And I get a little bit in your hair, and you ready to break up with me? Like, I want to be one of them dudes in that line, you fucking bitch. Preferably first. But yeah, you will never outdo a woman's porn. I kudos to y'all, because we're so simple. We're like, what if it's two women?
I'm usually disgusted with myself afterwards.
No, I'm not.
That's,
I'm
No,
not
I
listening
am.
to
It's
that.
usually like
don't think we're not disgusted.
No, yeah.
Judging you.
That's how you know it's good
Jerking
porn.
off to chubby white girls getting banged, dropping N-bombs. It's like she doesn't do the ER. She's one of those ghetto.
John and I watch the
Newport
same porn.
smokers.
It
One
appears.
of those Newport smoking white bitches with the Karen bob going.
Oh.
And she's got her t-shirt on because her fupa's just ridiculous. The bottom of her feet are a little too dirty.
Oh.
The cat in the background. Oh yeah, it has to be amateur porn. I don't. That's another thing. Being 43, I don't want polished sex. I want the titties to part ways with she's on her back. Oh my god.
Patrice O'Neill called it. He wants the lasagna.
Oh.
He wants the lasagna. Like that's. He's into that.
Oh.
All right. Well, see John this Friday at Hilarities, 9:30 p.m.
9:30.
You can get tickets at hilarities.com. Check him out on social media on Instagram and Facebook, John Armstrong Comedy and John Armstrong on Facebook, and at Tommy LC. And then
They
and then
want
we
to be
got
on TV. Where's your sign?
Yeah.
and we had people waving at us.
Yeah. They would not stop.
Samantha with a nice final thought here. Post-nut clarity exists for women too.
Oh, yeah.
So
For sure.
Yeah.
thank you guys for checking this out. My special is coming out on this YouTube channel on November 22nd.
I'm like, wow.
So,
You work ahead.
So let's make sure everybody watches that. The trailer's up now, and see you guys next week.
Bye. We did it.